Okay, so I'm going to continue my previous talk. Oh, don't bother watching my previous talk. It's half an hour. And the only point that I want to get to is Zen. What is Zen to me is inner silence, no thinking going on in the head. That's what I call Zen. Zen can also be, it doesn't have to be just you sitting quietly with nothing going on upstairs in a vacant look, or like the slack jawed yokel from The Simpsons. Doesn't have to be that. But a Zen person might, well, the famous story that I can think of was the spiritual teacher, Dr. David R. Hawkins, who was talking about when he was a boy, he lived on a farm, and his mom sent him out to the chicken coop and said, "You have got to go get us a chicken for dinner." So David Hawkins, the boy, went into the chicken coop and he grabbed a chicken. It wasn't in a cage. It was kind of, an old wooden barn kind of thing, and it was loose. And the chicken didn't want to get caught. But Hawkins was totally zen, and he just grabbed the chicken. It reminds me of someone who is an expert marksman. When they go hunting ducks, and the duck's way up in the air, and they take their shotgun, and blam, there goes the duck. That's a kind of a zen thing. It's not thinking, it's just, moving the shotgun to the right place, and it's going to be aimed in front of the duck's direction because it's got to give time for the shot to get there, and the bird's moving, and it's got all the calculations has he got like little mathematical calculators going on inside his brain? Well, if you ride a bike, do you got little calculations about how to balance your... No, it's all done miraculously by your body. Once you've learned how to ride a bike, you know how to ride a bike. And once you know how to shoot ducks, you know how to shoot ducks. That's a pregnant pause. Does it make you nervous when I do that? I do that quite often. It's inner silence. I keep giving you examples what it looks like from the outside. Who else talks about inner silence? Don Juan Matus, the Yaqui sorcerer from Nogales. What's the advantage of having inner silence? Well, according to Don Juan Matus, if you want to become a sorcerer, you got to get inner silence. Why would you want to be a sorcerer? Oh, because then a sorcerer is like another word for a magician. What's the point of having magic? Um, what's the point of being alive? I mean, if you're going to be alive, shouldn't you be able to mystify people? Shouldn't you be able to play practical jokes on them in ways that other people can't? Why do you want to play practical jokes on people, Mr. Sorcerer? Because I want to get them interested in sorcery. If I just give you a big fat textbook this thick, you're not going to want to pick up this big. Most people. Some people that are bookworms are going, oh, a big fat book? Oh, I want that. But most people are going, no, I don't want to read that big fat book. So they use coyote wisdom to get you involved. What does that mean? A coyote is a trickster. They know what they want. They want to get you involved. And they know you don't want to get involved. Because that's just the way a lot of people are. They don't want to get involved in anything new. Because it sounds like it's too hard. It's too much money. It's too much effort. And it's probably boring. I don't want it. I don't want it. Before I've even heard the first thing about it, most people are, I don't want it. You're trying to sell me something. I don't want it. I don't want it. You might like what I'm going to, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. I got enough stuff in my house. I know enough. That's another one. People say that a lot. I don't want to know. I'm happy being ignorant and bliss. They don't usually say that. They usually say, I don't want it. I don't want it. It's because I don't know why. But a lot of times people don't want new information, mostly because they have been had too many times. If someone's trying to get me involved in learning something new, they want something from me, usually my money. I worked hard for my money. I know what I want to spend my money on. I've already had to buy a bunch of bills, and what little money I have left over, I already know what I want to do. And I don't want to buy your book on sorcery, and I don't want to learn about magic because everyone knows magic's not real. It's used by Hollywood in movies, and they use computer-generated animation to make it work. That's magic. It's not real. And so I don't want a book on magic. I don't want a book on sorcery. So Don Juan Matus, the Yaqui sorcerer, has got to trick you. How are they going to trick you? They're going to use magic. What else are they going to use? They're going to use forbidden fruit. For Carlos Castaneda, who wrote the books about Don Juan Matus, he was interested in things that were illegal in his country, the United States. What things were illegal? Peyote. It's a cactus. It's a hallucinogenic cactus, and it's highly illegal in the United States. And so that's the forbidden fruit. It's forbidden. You can't have it. You can't have it. You can't have it. Who's allowed to have it? In those days, I don't think anybody was really allowed. Today, if you belong to a certain church, Native American background, someone says a word, and I'm not 100% sure what it is, but there's a church that allows you to use ceremonial peyote, but everyone else can't. But anyway, Castaneda was interested in that. Why? Well, because I think he was bored with everything else. So he was already interested in things because they had an allure about them. It was forbidden, and it was novel, and no one knew really about it because they couldn't do peyote because it was illegal and it wasn't available. So, fine, that's what I'm going to go and do my university thesis on. And that's how he went along. Did Don Juan Matus use peyote? He was aware of it. He probably used it in his youth, but he wasn't really using peyote. He was an old man when Carlos Castaneda met him, probably like 65. Not that old, but, not 19. So But Don Juan Matus did have a daily smoking mixture. He had a pipe and he smoked his own stuff. And primarily what was in Don Juan Matus's smoke? Dried magic mushrooms. In the first book of Carlos Castaneda, it was a lot about these kind of illegal substances, hallucinogens. But after that, he basically dropped the topic. I don't know if he was getting flack from his university professors or his publishers or whatever, but there's one book that talks all about these hallucinogenic things, and then the rest of the books never mentioned again. Why? Well, I don't think you need peyote or magic mushrooms to do sorcery. It's kind of an introductory thing. It's a trickster thing. It's associated with these illegal substances that are very weird. So it helps to get people interested. But once they're interested, then it was a marketing gimmick to get you interested. But once you're interested and you get into it, you don't need the marketing gimmick anymore because you actually are interested in it for the sake of what you're learning. So how am I going to get you interested in inner silence and sorcery? I'm going to have to do either magic or you're going to have to be a bookworm. This is how people sell stuff. It's like you don't have it. And they develop a desire in you for something you don't have. Marketing, marketing, marketing. Why do we want more people involved with sorcery? Maybe we don't. Maybe we just want to sell a lot of books to get rich and retire and, move to Hawaii or something. Everyone's got in the back of their head, I need to get rich now. Not 25 years from now. Now, I need $25 million, or I need to be like Jeff Bezos and I need to have $1 billion in my bank account. Why? I just don't have it and I want to know what it's like. This is why people who teach anything that we would call spiritual teachings have a lot of luck if they use the marketing gimmick of this is how you can get rich. So there are a lot of spiritual teachers that talk about it's spiritual for you to have a lot of money. Is it? You're a spirit in a physical form. If you have money, you're a spirit. If you don't have money, you're not a steer. You're a spirit still in a physical form. Either way, it's spiritual. So money in itself doesn't make you more spiritual, doesn't make you more conscious. No. What's money good for? Well, for buying books and courses on sorcery and things. Trips to Hawaii. In other words, it does have a use in our society. But if you spend all your time chasing money, what happens? You may or may not end up with money. No one guarantees you money by doing it the spiritual way or the old-fashioned way of digging ditches. In the end, Don Juan Matus said, you have to pick a path, young human, Carlos Castaneda, 22 years old. You have to pick a path in life. So you might as well pick a path that has heart, Don Juan Matus. What did he mean by that? I think he means joy. I think he means with heart, with joy. Because if you've got joy in your work, it's not going to feel like work. So pick a path with joy for you. And this is, many other teachers have said the same thing, but in different words. The mythology professor, Joseph Campbell, said, follow your bliss. So choose a path with heart. Paths without heart are things that you don't like to do. But what if they get you lots of money and then you can buy things you like to do? Well, this is quite often done by people. It's like, I'm going to do a job because it pays really middle or little bit of money, and I need this money to do the things that I really want to do. For me, I'd like to learn to surf and I'd like to go back to snowboarding. They're very, why are they expensive? Why do I need money? Well, if you're going to buy a lift ticket at any decent resort, they're upwards of like $200 a day. Plus, you have to have equipment and food and lodging. It's super expensive sport. Is surfing expensive? Well, I don't know if surfboards are that expensive. The ocean is pretty much free, but you still have to have a place to go when you're done surfing for the day. And, cities along the coast of anywhere tend to be very expensive. It seems like Earth is what's known as a catch-22 planet. Catch-22 was an old movie, I don't know, maybe from the 1960s, based on a novel by Joseph Heller. And it was basically just that. Everything in life has got a catch to it. You want this, fine, but you've got to do this, which you don't want to do, but it just goes on and on. Catch-22. Why is Earth this way? I'm looking at the crows out the window. Crows are also known as, with the coyotes, as being tricksters. A trickster doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just knows what people are like. And it's got a strategy to deal with humans who are going, I don't want what you're trying to teach me. So they've got to be clever. And coyotes and crows are very clever. And they study human nature. And they're very good marketers.